My shirt is so red. What's happening?
You're super red. Well, happy new haircut. Look at your nice haircut. Apparently, Katy just needs to post pictures of herself with the new do on the interwebs, and she gets an awful lot of reactions.
I know. I'm like, apparently everybody was just looking for me to get a haircut because it's like, man, all the buzz.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello, everybody. I see Teresa just jumped in. I'm going to add her to the stream here quick. Teresa, what's happening?
Today, I'm happening.
You are live already.
Your haircut was all the buzz.
Seriously.
Welcome, everybody. This is another episode of our very special BOSS Reseller Remix preview that we've been doing every Wednesday. I think we have at least one more that we're going to do. Next week, we're going to have Worth Point.
We're going to have Will Chappelle from Worth Point, the founder and CEO of Worth Point. That is actually really interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about Worth Point itself, but in general, most people know what Worth Point is as a product. What we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking to Will because Will is just a super interesting guy. And we're going to be talking to him about Worth Point will be at the Remix and we'll be interacting with people there with their team. But also we're going to just be talking to Will about some of his finds and his discoveries over the years, like maybe one of his favorite things that he's found or favorite things that he's flipped. He's super fun and funny and interesting. And those of you that went to the Remix or have met Will Chappelle in person before, he's super charismatic. He's just a fun person to talk to.
Yeah.
So we'll touch on some Worth Point stuff, of course, but the reality is we just want to talk to Will.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, guys, we got to jump right into today's show. We've got Jack here from Whatnot. I'm going to bring him on. He's way cooler than us, and he's in New York City going to, I'm assuming it's New York Fashion Week there. He says he has a fashion show to go to, so I can only imagine that's what it is.
Oh, fancy.
But he's giving us 20 minutes of his time, so I'm going to bring him in right away. Jack, what's happening?
I'm in no way cooler than you guys are. That is a blatant lie.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm not at New York Fashion Week, so, you know.
Honestly, this is the first. I've worked in fashion for 12 years. This is like the first time I've actually been invited to almost anything. And it's because it's a friend of mine who I used to work with, her name is Kim Wynn. Wynn Inc. is the show. She's like in Vogue and everything. And she's having her show today. So very stoked.
Very
That's cool. Exciting. That's exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm very stoked for her.
Well, we're going to try to get right into it. So everybody, please welcome Jack. Now, is it pronounced Driessen or Driessen?
Driessen. He killed it.
Driessen. All right. So this is Jack Driessen from Whatnot. I think everybody has probably heard a lot about Whatnot, especially lately. It's all the rage right now in the reseller world. In fact, I think a lot of the people who are going to be presenting at our event, a lot of people are already doing Whatnot. Mm-hmm. We've got people doing their first Whatnot shows today and tomorrow in our little circle. So Jack, why don't you introduce yourself, kind of tell us, your place at Whatnot and give us a little, I guess, history or synopsis of Whatnot right now.
For sure. Yeah. So again, my name is Jack. I'm the general manager for the vintage and thrift categories at Whatnot. So overseeing like marketing and supply growth and buyer growth and all that fun stuff. So I'm like popping into kind of everything across the board. I've been at Whatnot for about 5 months. The platform itself is about 18 months old. The company is about 2 years old. We originated in collectibles. It is a primarily live shopping marketplace experience, so business to consumer. We offer basically a platform for sellers to come on and sell product directly to end consumers. Like I said, we originated in collectibles. So we started in like Pokemon cards, Funko Pops, sort of like your traditional not traditional, but your more core collectible categories. And we've seen a ton of success. We saw a ton of success very quickly by approaching live shopping from really a community-based model. So like finding out directly from users and from sellers, like what type of experience they're looking for to transact with one another. And I think what has made really like catapulted our positive trajectory has been the really social commerce component of it. Like it's really, people chat with each other, people network, they make new friends, they make business relationships outside of Whatnot. Buyers and sellers all completely intermix with one another, which I think is sort of an amazing and beautiful part of the experience. And that's really, again, what has made us be successful. So since we started in collectibles, we've expanded into everything. Fashion is on the newer side, about 6 months old. We've seen incredibly rapid growth across the board. We have seen, amazing new amounts of sellers and buyers transacting in new ways, creating new forms of live streams. new themed shows, new content, new business models. So it's really fascinating. And I think, you know, you look at live shopping globally, and, you know, the markets in China, South Korea, Japan, Indonesia are really, you know, tend to be the ones that like set the market. Like traditional e-commerce really originated there, and live shopping is already, you know, a 9-figure, hundreds of billions of dollars as a market already. And obviously we believe North America and the rest of the world is soon to follow. So that's sort of what we're doing, live shopping, but with a, you know, really sort of aggressive community driven approach. Lots more to come in terms of asynchronous selling and some other amazing new product features coming down the board. But anyway, that's the quick and dirty on Whatnot.
It's super exciting. I've heard Whatnot compared to like the Home Shopping Network or QVC had a baby with a couple of you know, Zennials, and then that's pretty much what Whatnot is. Like, you know, I grew up with my mom watching on Home Shopping Network, and I feel like Whatnot is like the most current version of that. People are selling themselves. That's what sales is in general, and what it's always been. So, you know, if you can market yourself and sell yourself as well as have cool products, like that's you should be on this Whatnot train, whether you're selling or going there to buy. It's worth it.
Definitely. Yeah, I think what's amazing is like it provides this opportunity to really contextualize both yourself as a seller and the product. So you can express your passion for the product. You can express like, hey, here's this John Cena t-shirt. Like I got it in Seattle 9 years ago, and I, you know, paid way too much for it, but like I wear it 4 times a week, and, you know, I'm listing it for this price, and here's the dimensions, and here's, you know, the concerts I've been to wearing it. Like that type of human component of commerce is really, I think, the future. And, you know, between traditional brick and mortar and traditional e-commerce, like there's nothing quite as engaging and sticky as this type of experience. So yeah, it's super exciting. I'm stoked about what's coming down the pipe.
I know that I love it as a vintage seller and a vintage buyer. You know, the one component that I think that stagnant websites are for sales are lacking is the fact that it's a lot more difficult to tell a story about the product that you're selling. And that's what I really like about Whatnot, because of what I sell specifically. And I've only had 2 shows. Let me just tell you that right now. And the first one was good. The second one was mediocre. But I'm not giving up. You know, the buyers are still coming to the platform, and that's what I'm looking for. But I love the fact that I can describe each thing that I'm selling in a way that I'm not able to do in type necessarily.
Right.
I think that's interesting with vintage for me anyway. That's because that's my niche.
Definitely.
So,
and like, you know, being able to talk about like the fabric, the fit, you know, the drape, the dimensions, like all of the meat around the product that makes it feel really special. Like it's like you said, it's so hard to convey that in a static listing. Like even if you're writing paragraphs of information, like human attention span, like that never drives conversion because people move on to the next thing so quickly. But hearing it from a human being that like really loves and is passionate about that product is
like, this is how I would wear it. This is what I would accessorize
totally.
it with. This is that, you know, that's type of stuff you can't convey in a static listing.
Right.
Well, and I think like for a long time now, you know, with the target, you know, it used to be all about millennials. Now it's more the Zennials. But, you know, with millennials, the kind of a lot of the buzzwords and the concepts that were talked about a lot in business was, you know, knowing that millennials really like to connect with the companies that they buy from. And they want there to be some sort of humanity there, whether those companies are part of causes or things like that. And I feel like this is just like the next step, is that it's not just about a company, it's about the individual. It's like they like the individual, they like their story, they like where they come from, they like who they are, their personality. And that creates that kind of loyalty and desire to support them and buy from them. So it's more meaningful than just putting something in a virtual basket and checking out on like Amazon.
I think that's why influencers are drawn to the platform. Now, obviously, Whatnot's targeting influencers to try and get them to come and sell on the platform and bring their buyers and their following with them. But I think that's why influencers can be made on the platform, but also do well on the platform, because they already have a core component of fans, so to speak, or followers that already want to buy from them. They're already buying what they're selling, whatever it may be, themselves, their items, whatever. And that's why I think it's such a great way. It's a much, much more difficult to create that type of atmosphere on a different type of platform.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think what's amazing is like you see both sellers and influencers do really well. Like people who among our top seller tier in every category are folks with massive social followings and people with literally no social following who have built their following, their community on Whatnot. Like that is, again, what we're trying to create on the platform is a way, you know, you're not just bringing over your following from another place, but you're actually creating new relationships. And I think like those relationships they're stickier on Whatnot than they are on Instagram. You know, you have 200,000, you know, my cousin has like 3 million followers. She's a model. Like, I mean, how many people can possibly be engaged with you intimately, like personally, truly, genuinely, like invested in your personal narrative, right? And on Whatnot, like you may have fewer followers, but they're so committed to like the narrative that you're pursuing and the product you're discussing, and you know, they hang out with you every day or multiple times a week. Like it really provides a more intimate experience.
Well, and I think, you know, when you're looking at like YouTube or Instagram, it's really hard as like a new personality, whether you're selling or whatever you're doing, to get a foothold and actually get eyes on what you're doing and your content. I feel like with Whatnot, it's like, yes, you do have a step up if you come in with a 200,000 sub YouTube channel. But I really do think that, you know, like when I go shopping, if I'm on Whatnot and it's like 11 o'clock at night, she's already asleep, very quietly and cutely snoring next to me. I can go look at vintage and look at what shows are live, and there might only be 4 or 5 shows live. And then if it gets even later, there might only be 1 or 2. Like there's definitely times where people can, if it's not so much about the following, it's like you do have to have a certain type of personality. You do have to be a little more outgoing. But I feel like at least right now on Whatnot, it's anybody's game if you want to try it and really put yourself out there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's still, you know, we're in early days, right? Like how old are many of the other platforms that exist out there? Many other marketplaces, decades in some cases. So we're still in really early days. Like I talk about in my onboarding sessions all the time, and Jules, who manages our thrift and modern category, we discuss all the time. Like we didn't have women's modern shows essentially 3 months ago, and now it is the largest percentage of the app from a live streaming hours and number of shows perspective. Like that is awesome. How quickly the platform evolves and how quickly the community evolves. So it's really a lot of what we encourage folks on Whatnot to do is just be experimental, be open-minded. Like what works 1 week might not work 4 weeks down the road. So be open-minded, like always stay authentic to sort of your business strategy and your approach as a seller and who you are, but also like be open to new opportunities. And like, obviously I want everyone to thrive in vintage and thrift, but like, if you also have jewelry inventory and you're killing it in that category, like go do that, like source more inventory there, lean into that business model, cross-pollinate your following base. It is dizzying the pace at which it evolves for sure.
Well, and at your remix session that you're going to be doing with Ryan and Allie from Rally Roots and Jesse from Yesterday's Fits, we're going to get a lot more into like the seller side of it and talking about, you know, what it takes to be a seller, tips and ways to really grow your channel. But
build your following, to create a good Whatnot show. What is a good Whatnot show?
But Tommy has a really good question, and I see this a lot, kind of rolling around in different groups. Particularly, there's a Reseller Whatnot Facebook group that we're in, and there's a lot of people talking about this. What is Whatnot doing to bring in regular buyers as opposed to resellers, or just?
Yeah, definitely. I think the dynamics of the platform is that typically a lot of new categories start with resellers, right? Because we approach sellers first and then the community is initially sellers. But we actually just had a buyer seller survey, and the
you still there?
He froze.
You froze.
Give him a minute. Give him a minute.
I will.
Is that New York internet?
Yeah, I do think it's a good question, and
yeah.
And I think, and honestly, I think it does take time. Oh, you froze there. All right.
You're unfrozen.
Go back. Okay, you were talking, you froze right when you said you did the seller buyer surveys.
Yeah. So the vast majority of buyers who come to the platform come because they heard about it through a Whatnot seller, right? So the faster we grow the supply base, the faster we grow the buyer base as well. So that's a huge, just organic focus that we have. But I think, you know, what we're doing in the background that people don't see is, obviously, we do a ton of paid marketing. We're constantly sort of supporting our paid marketing channels, leveraging new content, trying new ways of finding new consumers in more of a scaled ad-driven approach, which is the same as any other marketplace. But I think, you know, also influencer partnerships are huge for us and a massive point of emphasis for us. Like I think for those of you who have been on Whatnot for a long time, like, marketing is not sort of like our forte, has never been like our primary focus. As we evolve into the last quarter of this year and next year as well, that is going to be a huge point of emphasis for us. And I think what's amazing about Whatnot, again, is like, we didn't market insanely at the beginning, right? Like, this is very much a grassroots platform. And that is how we've built significant buyer bases in every category, including fashion, is really truly through the community. You'll also see us at many more in-person events. Probably if you live on the East Coast, you'll see me haunting around most pop-ups and flea markets, et cetera. And as we scale our team, we'll have much more impact to do that. But I think really, in-person scaled paid marketing, and then more high quality influencer partnerships, and not influencer in like the traditional sense, but in terms of like stunts, activations, more impactful events. Those are sort of our primary focuses on the marketing side.
Well, I mean, I know with our experience with you and with Whatnot, we do see that, yes, you guys engage with some really big influencers, but I also feel like you do pay a lot of attention to the smaller sellers. And, as sellers, I think we know we as sellers are a fickle bunch, and we tend to never be pleased with anything. And so, like you had the whole Post Malone thing where they brought in a bazillion people. And yes, there was some grumbling about it crashing the site, but it probably helped you guys to kind of figure out how to deal with those issues of like needing enormous bandwidth. But at the same time, it's like, you do need kind of stunts or events like that occasionally to kind of bring a lot of people in that aren't part of the reseller world, that are going to, now they're going to know about Whatnot. They're going to check it out.
I don't know. I think crashing the site was probably a good marketing strategy.
Seriously.
Because everybody was talking about it, right? I mean,
but then the complaint was, but now they're bringing all these uneducated buyers that are going to be terrible to deal with. And it's like, okay, you can't have it both ways, guys.
You can't have it all. Yeah. I mean, the theme of all of this is like, we're a startup. We're 2 years old. Like, we are brand new. We are learning as fast and as messily as you guys are. And like, we want you guys to come along for the journey and be part of the process and experience this with us. And like, yes, you do have to have tolerance for some bumps in the road, as a Whatnot employee. And this is what we say to people who join our team as well. Like, it's messy, there's chaos, there's a lot going on. And as sellers, sometimes you're pulled through that as well. And I know, we try to mitigate that as much as possible. Our trust and safety team, our support team, is by far the biggest team at Whatnot. And they're, amazing. They're incredible people. They're literally the most talented support staff I've ever worked with in my career. And that, I think, is indicative of like where we lean in. Like, we are creating chaos, but we also want to make sure that we're insulating our buyers and sellers from that as much as possible. But sometimes we don't. But yeah, I think, it's going to be a journey for sure. And like, we want you guys to be part of it. And also to give us some patience as well when we don't get it right.
Absolutely.
I think it's super exciting. I like I said, I've only done 2 shows. We've got a bunch of people here in our chat that are like seasoned Whatnotters at this point. As far this one, my 80 baby, this is Laura. You'll meet her at the remix. She has never been so excited to sell on a platform in her entire life.
It's really awesome.
She is all Whatnot all day, all the time, every day.
Fired up.
And this is somebody who had zero social media presence other than within our kind of small reseller community. People.
She's one of the admins in our group.
She doesn't have a YouTube channel. She's not really active on Instagram. And so this is really her first time like putting herself out there, and she's killing it.
She has found something that works for her, and she loves it. She loves the fast flip. She loves the fast social selling aspect.
She has the personality for it.
She has a great fun personality, and she knows what she's selling. She sells in the estate category, not clothing. Hates clothing, but everything but clothing. And she loves it, and she's doing great. And she just said, mark my words, by next year, I'm only going to be on Whatnot. And she's
her goal.
Her platforms. That's her goal. Yeah. And she's killing it, and she loves it. She's never been so excited and fired up to be a seller before. And I think that's so fun.
So my question, Jack, before you have to go, so we can to wrap up this part of the show, how do you address the idea that, okay, is Whatnot just a flash in the pan? Is this like going crazy and then it's going to be going away? Or what's the future for Whatnot? What do you see Whatnot doing in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? Like, what are the plans going forward?
I think we are going to be the generational social commerce company. And that is the conviction of every person that works for Whatnot. Like, I don't think this isn't like, a little, SaaS startup that was like created to churn and burn and get acquired and make the founders a bunch of money. Like, I believe this platform is going to change commerce. I think we see that. Obviously, we see the signals elsewhere in other major markets. It's an amazing market fit as a platform. Honestly, like the most brilliant people work here, not myself excluded. Everyone is amazing. Everyone is so excited and jazzed up about this platform and so dedicated to the cause. I think the future of Whatnot is as broad as your imagination. I think we will do literally everything. We will sell everything from, cars to, to house shares, everything down the pipe. Please check out the food and beverage category. I think that's my funnest favorite new one. People like baking or creating amazing food products and selling them. But yeah, I think this is the future of commerce, A to Z.
I love that. Mini cooking shows and people sell. That's amazing. I didn't even think of that.
I have bought dried mushrooms on Whatnot.
Pampered Chef for Whatnot. So you go to Pampered Chef show, they cook something, you buy all this stuff to make it. Like, I could do that.
That's perfect. There you go.
I absolutely love the fact that we're kind of getting in at the ground in a company. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily fit my business model 100% yet, but that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to keep my feet in and keep working on it until it does, because I know that it's going to get there. Yeah. I know that it's going to have my buyers there eventually. And I'm willing to keep working at it and trying to build it slowly on my end to make sure that I have a presence when they're there. I'm going to be there, Yeah. I think that's exciting.
Well, listen, guys, I'm watching the clock and I'm sure Jack is as well and needs to get out of here. But seriously, if you're coming to the remix, you're going to get to meet Jack in person. You're also going to get to meet Jules, right? She's coming as well. Mm-hmm. And a couple of other people are going to be coming from Whatnot as well. But you're going to get a chance to hang out with them, talk to them, ask them all your questions. And also see an amazing session with them on stage with Rally Roots and Jesse from Yesterday's Fit. So we're just really excited to see you in a few weeks, Jack.
I'm excited for our auction. I'm really excited for, the panel is going to be interesting. Don't get me wrong, with everybody. We're talking about Whatnot and teaching some things, but I'm so excited for our live auction that we're going to do at the event center.
It's gonna be cool
with Whatnot. We'll see what we can do. Maybe Whatnot would be willing to match whatever we raise. Who knows? We'll put a bug in there.
You can't put him on the spot like that. All right.
I know he can make that decision, but I'm just putting it out there.
I love it. Well, I'm stoked to meet you guys in person. You guys, Ryan, Ellie, Jesse, the entire family. This is obviously, I talk to you guys so much all day, every day, and all week, every week. So I think that's what I'm most stoked about. But excited to meet everyone else new to Whatnot as well.
All right, thanks Jack. When to go be fancy in New York City.
I know. Go enjoy the show. Have
You're looking at the outfit. It is what I've been wearing for 3 days.
All right, see you, Jack.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thanks, Jack. Sorry, I feel like Teresa didn't get any conversation in there at all. I'm so sorry.
We had to jam it out.
Right. It's fine. I mean, I'm not on Whatnot. I'm absorbing it through osmosis, through Katy, Vikki, Laura. I think I've purchased from 2 people. I think I've watched 3 live shows. I just don't have the bandwidth right now. But I absolutely agree.
Not for everyone.
I absolutely agree. It is going to take off, or it is taking off. It is definitely going to change the e-commerce space. And I think that I am 100% not going to bet against Laura, because I really think that in 1 year she will be selling on Whatnot from an estate sale driveway or storage unit or wherever, because
she'll be loading her car, and as she's loading her car, she'll be flipping what she just bought.
This is the thing. I think, I do think that Whatnot's going to be here for a while. And right now it is the place to be doing this kind of live selling in the US. But overall, I think live selling in general is just kind of where a lot of things are going to be going in the next however many years. So to me, it's if you can build it up on Whatnot, even if another platform comes along that ends up eclipsing it at some point in the future, it's a lot of that following is going to follow you. This is where you get to make a name for yourself and a brand for yourself, and people know you by your name. They know your face. They know you. They like you. So I don't know. It's, may not be for everybody, but I think there's going to be some people who are really going to thrive.
Tommy, thank you for waiting until Jack left to ask that question. Although I think you're funny. I did say when we said Jack was coming to the remix after we had our first call with him, I did say he's a snack. He's a cutie. But he's also
you'll have to ask him that in person.
You'll have to ask him in person. Yeah, Jules, I agree with you there. I have to say, the shows on Whatnot or on any other platform are only as good as their sellers, right? So just like you have mediocre sellers on eBay or Poshmark or whatever, you're going to have mediocre sellers on Whatnot. The ease of Whatnot is conducive to somebody that is a brand new seller. So they may not have the experience or the knowledge to be as great with their descriptions as they should be as far as condition and knowledge of shipping things properly. So I think that's going to be a bit of the growing pain with it, but just make sure that you give appropriate reviews to people. They're going to, if nothing else, they're going to learn how to do it properly if they're not already doing so. I've had a couple of bad experiences too, not from any of our sellers, none of our friends. All of our friends are good, good sellers, so they know what they're doing. But there are some people that don't do it right.
It's a growing platform, so yeah, you want to make sure you're reviewing people. You want to make sure you're reporting them. What's that, Teresa?
I was going to say, check this out. This is my second Whatnot buy. It was my first one was a thing from Katy. This was from Matt. I have no idea when I bought this from Matt. It was shipped July 9th.
It was the night that you, me, and Liz all bought from him, I think.
Yeah. So July 9th is when it shipped. But here's the thing. I haven't opened it yet because the joy to me wasn't, what was it? I don't even remember what I bought. The joy to me was supporting him. So when she said like there's some Whatnot sellers that haven't been great, I was like, oh, maybe it's a good thing.
Jules, to open. I know who you're talking about.
Who knows? There's a couple.
I have a pretty good idea. You don't need to put it in the chat.
I've bought from a big seller before that's not somebody that anybody here knows, and I was very disappointed with them not disclosing some issues. So listen, it's a new platform though, and they're going to have to work out how they handle things like items not as described, and that's always a struggle with any platform, even when obviously ones like eBay. But it's like the people at Whatnot or the people at eBay can't be in your house telling you like, no, that's not the correct way to list that, or this is trash. Why are you listing it? So it's like, that's always going to be kind of something that goes back and forth. And just hopefully if somebody gets enough complaints, then hopefully they will do something about it, and they'll build systems to handle that kind of stuff.
If hopefully. It's who I think it is, Jules, unfortunately, that was the MO on a couple other platforms and is the MO on this platform as well. I've heard that many, many times. About the quality of items being sent out. So I do hope that that does change. I do hope that person gets some better quality control. If it's who I think it is. And again, I don't want you to put it in the chat. Please don't. Yeah. But
Teresa's doing a live unboxing. Hey,
it's red.
You know what I realized is that I have a new photographer now, so I can just hand these over to her. I got a hat, got me some vintage sunglasses.
Oh, I love those vintage 70s sunglasses. I gave a pair to Crystal in the chat, and I have a pair. He sent me like 5 pairs in my purchase in my box. I guess his father used to be an optometrist or a salesman, and he found cases of these vintage 70s inexpensive like drugstore sunglasses, and he's been sending them in his packages, which I think is awesome.
Speaking of show and tell, we just got, Vikki and I just, a few months back, what's going on?
I'm going to get the other thing.
A few months back, Vikki and I were featured in a seller spotlight on eBay. And so we actually had a whole camera crew here, and they made a video and all this stuff. And it was a lot of fun. We just had packages show up today, thanking us for welcoming them.
And it was months ago.
And eBay into their home, into our home and everything. And so I just want to show you, look at how cool
we're just going to brag
Teresa.
A little bit.
Well, no, come on. Look at this. It's a fanny pack.
I love it.
Look at how cool this fanny pack is. And I'm totally going to be wearing this at the remix.
I'll be wearing mine, at least on Fremont.
Yeah. I'm going to use this as my new casino bag.
It does say eBay on it, so show the eBay part.
Yeah, it says eBay.
You were showing me.
Sorry. Well, I don't
and
necessarily care about that.
And then, we've talked a little bit about Bumpbox and stuff here and there. We'll get into that again in another second. Katy can announce something. But look at this. Look at this little eBay branded like speaker. Look how cute it is.
Oh, that's amazing.
I love this one. I have the little cylinder ones, a bunch of those, the little drum ones that they've sent. I like this one.
That's pretty cool.
And we each got one.
Oh, is that like a known brand? I don't know that brand. So it's a cool little pack. But hey, speaking of Bumpbox, you guys, I'll do a post. Sorry, what?
There's a good chance I'm going to do something for, I haven't even told my friends this, but there's a good chance I'm going to do something for eBay. And when you posted that you got that, I was like, if I do this for eBay, I hope I get one of those bags.
Right?
We get to pay. So the thing is, you know this, Teresa.
And this is the branded. I just want to say it's Forte brand. I don't know if that's a good brand, but anyway.
Listen, Teresa, you know when it comes to eBay and like the gifts that you give when you do stuff, it all depends on what team you're doing it for. So
Yeah, absolutely.
you never know what you're going to get. I think Vikki did something for like the global eBay, and that's when she got like Bose headphones. And
I do.
So we all know how
Bose
bitter
ones.
I am about that because I was in the trenches in combat pay for eBay managed payments for 2 years. Vikki gets on a 3-minute phone calls and gets Bose headphones.
It was 40 minutes, but whatever.
But
All right,
like,
listen. Let me give the announcement here, guys. I'm going to be doing a post. Actually, I just want to say I want to give a shout out to Laura because she did take it upon herself to break the news. She was the very first person to break this news during one of her whatnot sessions. So she's pretty much the coolest. But I will be posting this on Instagram later today that we have a new sponsor. Maybe this one's our last. I don't know. They keep coming, guys. They keep coming. Oh, all right, Teresa.
They're a little wonky.
Anyway, our newest sponsor, our latest sponsor is indeed Bumpbox, and we are super excited. If anybody who's on Whatnot, if you haven't seen Bumpbox and Whatnot, I don't know where you've been because they have their own channel on there. They give stuff away all the time. They're just a really, really cool company that kind of started, I think, within the last 2 years. They came up with an idea. They basically were lamenting. It was a couple of guys lamenting how cool boom boxes used to be. Like back in the 80s and 90s, like you'd have a giant boom box. And so they were like, why don't we just try it ourselves? And so they made a prototype. I think E40, the rapper from the 90s, he saw it and went and basically blew it up on social media. And so now they're like this amazing company. They do these Bluetooth, basically boom boxes, but they're called Bumpbox, but they also do like little retro pagers, and they do like medium-sized ones and huge ones. They're really cool. And they do all kinds of like
Liz, sorry. She thought Bumpbox was a maternity clothes subscription.
So we're just super excited because Greg is coming. They're just going to be there on Thursday. So Greg from Bumpbox, who is also a vintage seller, he started out on Whatnot as a vintage seller, very popular one. He's going to be there on Thursday. They're going to be giving us a couple of their big bump boxes and at least a couple of the pagers. And so we're going to be auctioning a couple of things off during the Whatnot auction. It is a charity auction for the Blind Center. So that's going to be really cool. So one of the big bump boxes will be actually sold on there. So people have a chance to buy it if they want. And the other one, the other big one and a pager is going to be given away to an attendee that's actually at the remix. Don't worry, it'll be shipped to you.
And those bump boxes,
they go for like $400 or $500. They're not cheap.
And how are they going to be branded? They're
well,
branded.
hopefully, we think they're going to be remix branded. And if they are, we're going to be feeling pretty cool. But they do a really, I mean, you can get like everything custom branded on them. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I'm excited.
That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing to have. Like, year 2, we're going to have a Bumpbox co-branded reseller remix. Really cool, awesome swag.
Like, yeah, we've got, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're coming to the remix, we have some amazing prizes coming from these sponsors, and all you have to do is be there in person. So we have the Bumpbox things that are coming out. We have, let's see, an iPad mini from WorthPoint. We have 2 Acer Pro
Chromebooks,
Chromebook laptops from List Perfectly. We also have a Surface Pro from List Perfectly. We have from eBay, we have one of those big, huge photography closet things like we had last year. You walk in for the photos. Liz has one. And also 2 smaller photography setups that are more of the tabletop setups.
And aren't we getting a $250 Southwest card?
$250 Southwest gift card from Reseller, my Reseller Genie. What else do we have? There's even more, guys. Like, it's kind of ridiculous.
Lots of free stuff.
Lots of free giveaways that our sponsors are not only showing up, they're going to be there in person. We get 1 year free of the Reseller Tax Academy from Mark II. And free... And 1 free year of tax return service. That's a $500 value. Yeah. I just used him to do my taxes for the 4th or 5th time.
Yep, me too. And basically the thing he's giving away for free to one person is enough to take, he'll basically like literally he will prepare like your taxes for you.
Yeah,
So
because
1 year.
we don't get a discount, just so you know. We pay $400 each to do our taxes with Mark. And depending on how many businesses you have and how many state filings you have to do, that can go up or down. We don't have a state filing, so I think that's why ours is a little bit lower. But you're between
Pretty
$400 and
simple.
$500. That's your taxes. Unless you have several LLCs and corporations, then you know it's going to be a little bit more. But yeah, I'm so excited.
I mean, how cool is it to go to a conference like this and then like have your taxes done for you? I think it's pretty awesome.
Okay, I don't think that's the fun side we really want to push. Like Fremont Street, free taxes. It's
Hey, we have different people in here. Some people that's very exciting. Somebody in the chat, if you won that, would you be excited?
I'd be
Somebody's got to be excited.
I'd be excited to have my taxes done for free.
There's a lot of these things where I'm like, dang it, I'm not eligible.
Right?
There's no
Boombox.
There's no little legal ease that says that we're not.
No.
I mean, I think people would be like screaming, rigged.
Yeah, I know.
I know. If we won that, I really want that boombox. If we won that, because I want the co-branded boombox. If we won the boombox, yeah. Whoever wins the boombox, I'm going to be your bestie.
Seriously, I want the boombox too, because I want to have it on this. I want to have it behind me every time we're doing our shows on my little ledge right there, which is where the eBay one's going to go until the Bumpbox one.
You can have Bumpbox and eBay. Come on, we got to keep all.
That's true. We can co-brand. It can co-brand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, Liz says if I win, I'll sell it to you. Thanks, Liz. What a buddy.
I'll give you $10.
All right, so a couple of things. So Greg DuPage Picker has his very first Whatnot show today, right after this show. So 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific time or 2 o'clock East Coast time. So you guys should totally go check out his show. Give him some support. It's going to be his very first Whatnot show.
Our good friend Diane Lassonde is doing her first show right now.
That's
so
true.
As soon as we end up,
I'm actually in
over
it
there.
just to give her the numbers.
Go pop over there and give Diane some support too if you have a chance.
Yeah.
She is what's her show's name? Is Creations Unlimited? Is her
She's Di Lassonde. So D-I.
Oh, she didn't name it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Business.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of, Teresa was not poo-pooing fun. She was poo-pooing talking about things like taxes instead of talking about fun stuff. She was actually doing quite the opposite. But we should talk, speaking of having fun, let's talk a little bit more about what's going to be happening at the Remix outside of the sessions. We've got our meet and greet on Monday night at the Cat's Meow. I got confirmation that for sure Wade is going to be at the meet and greet, and he's quite the karaokeer. He says,
I am karaokeing with Wade. I am doing
now.
it.
The meet and greet is not a karaoke meet and greet, but we are going to be having it at a karaoke bar. We'll pretty much be the only people in there. But at some point, as Booze is introduced, somebody's gonna break the seal and say, "I'm going up there to do some karaoke." And
I'm not scared.
I'm hoping Wade's going to be that person.
I'm not scared. I'm going to do it. Crystal likes to karaoke too. We're going to get up there and going to sing.
Yeah,
we don't even care.
It's going to be super fun. Then Tuesday's like kind of your free night to go out and do whatever you want, hang out with your new friends or old friends. And then Wednesday night is going to be the Fremont Crawl. We start at Container Park where the giant fire-breathing praying mantis is. We have a beer or two over there. And then we march our way on down Fremont and basically just hang out for the night. There's three stages with live music. Well, look at you. Look at that. But the key to Wednesday night is it's going to be, we're putting on an optional thrifted outfit contest. So and I think some of us are going to go, I think some of us admins are going to go to some thrift stores the weekend before and get our outfits. But basically the crazier, the better, the most ridiculous, the better. It's not really a costume. It's just like, I don't know, golfer pants and some like crazy mixed patterns. But somebody's going to win a prize for the best thrifted outfit. I don't know what the prize is going to be.
We don't know yet. We don't know. Well, we've got some good prizes to give away. So,
What's that, Teresa?
You go and you source your outfit, just record it. Like, it's just like everything is content. And so we're going to get together and the 5 of us going to go shopping for our outfits, and there'll be some videotaping. There'll be some shenanigans. There'll be some fun. And Maybe it'll make
I
the
know it'll
highlight
be
reel.
recorded with Liz, because Liz, like, everything is content. So I wanted to say hi quickly to Tiffany. Thanks for popping in. It's good to see your face.
Yes.
Tiffany will be at Thrifting Vegas, will be at the remix as well. She does have her ticket. So Tiffany, I hope you're going to be joining us for the festivities, the meet and greet and the Fremont crawl. I know that last year, Tiffany lives here in Las Vegas. I know that a lot of our Las Vegas locals were kind of burnt out by the end of the conference at night, and they all just kind of went home instead of doing, like, I know Danny didn't participate in our stuff at night, but this year she says she's gonna. So I think it's going to be a good time. I'm excited. I know that Crystal, I think, went home after the conference every night too last year. She came for the meet and greet. But now that Angel is selling with her, I'm pretty sure they're going to be at everything, because Angel has never met a party that he has not liked. I'm sure.
So to finish up, though, Thursday night is our big party sponsored by List Perfectly. And because this is happening in October, we also have an optional costume we'll give a prize for the best costume. So you can come dress however you want. You can come in jeans and a t-shirt. You can come dressed up like a formal gala outfit, or you can come in a silly costume. I know I already have my costume figured out, and let me tell you, what do you think about my costume?
You do not want to miss Katy's costume.
It's going to be
I think it's flipping hilarious, and I live with her ass every day, and she makes me laugh every day. But I think her costume, she's not even telling anyone. Our admins don't even know. It is hilarious.
I can't wait.
Unfortunately, it could not be a couple's costume. Mine is not a funny costume, but I do have a costume. I'm not, and I think it'll be fun. I have
a costume.
You have a costume?
Well, yeah, and I talked about it. I haven't said anything to anybody yet, but mine is going to be homemade and crafted. I'm going to actually start on it tonight.
Oh.
I don't know how you can top your money costume from last year.
I can't. So I just have to go with something a little more predictable, a little more something, but it'll be fun for me. So.
Okay. So moving past that, the other thing that we have going on that we need to make sure you guys know about is that today, this afternoon, 3:00 Pacific time, 6:00 Eastern time, Teresa, you're going to be running the latest BOSS Reseller Remix Meetup group, virtual Meetup group. What's the topic going to be today?
So we're going to have Danna Crawford. Danna will be at the Reseller Remix. And so we've been highlighting some people that are there in the last couple of meetups. And so she's going to talk about consignments, but she also has a podcast, Flip It or Skip It. And I love their podcast. You learn so much stuff. It's like little tidbits about like we all know Batman. Well, this is what you need to look for in your Batman stuff. This is what you need to look for. I like that each show is a theme. And so, and they're, 20 or 25 minutes long, which is the perfect podcast length for me. So she's going to be on there today. And then so for those that are here next month in October, we're going to do a Reseller Remix recap. So those of you that have gone to the Reseller Remix can come and just, we'll pop you in or out or hang out or whatever. I don't know what we're going to do yet. But and then we will, if you're not going to be able to be there, then, just join us to find out all the stuff that you missed.
The link is down below, guys. And when you go to the link, it's great if you can register, because then that gives Teresa, it gives her the numbers, and it's always good because, you're registering on the eBay platform. And so then they can see how many people are signing up for it. So it's really good. This is how we get swag and stuff like that, if we're able to show that we have a big following. So please go ahead and register, but you're actually going to be doing a Zoom, right? And if you go to the registration page, the Zoom link is right there. So you're not actually going to be doing it on the eBay platform. You're going to use that Zoom link, and that's how you're going to go to the meeting.
I just want to address a couple of things. So KB Savings says the temperature will be too hot for my homemade costume in Vegas. The temperature is perfect in October, just so you know. It's like 70s,
drop a lot in the next
70s to early to low 80s in the daytime, which with no humidity, it's like perfect fall weather everywhere else in the country. And nighttime, it's in the 60s. So depending on what your costume is, you're going to be fine. Plus, obviously, everywhere is air conditioned. The facility is central air.
Tommy, Halloween type costume. That's just, imagine you're going to a Halloween party. How would you dress up?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a Halloween costume.
There's no rules.
sorry, I also just wanted to say, for those of you that are wanting to attend eBay Open and are going to be watching eBay Open live, it's virtual this year. It's next week. But for those of you that are in the chat, I don't know, Tiffany, if you're still in the chat, but Friday of next week, Katy and I are hosting a live in-person watch party for those that are in the Las Vegas area. I do know that some people are coming. Our friend Jill and her husband are coming from St. George, Utah. We will be having an in-person watch party for eBay Open. We will have an eBay employee. Our friend Shelly will be here, and she's going to be taking questions back to corporate. If you have questions about yourself, your account, any eBay stuff, she's here to take the abuse. Just render it lightly, please. And we're going to have refreshments, and Sonny is coming with we're going to have great desserts and fun and things to eat. But
there's also a watch party going on in Colorado Springs. They're doing them all over the country.
Exactly. There's one in Colorado Springs as well. So anyone that happens to be looking to go to an in-person event, go ahead and look at the eBay seller events page. And that's where you can find all the in-person events.
Yeah, Tiffany,
in your
you should
area.
come.
Tiffany, come. It's in the Meetup group page. Please
you can come meet our puppy, who's a year old already.
Yeah.
Anyway, Teresa,
I wanted to see if anybody's going to be in the LA area. I'm going to go to LA and do the LA in studio, but I'm trying to find sellers in the area or that will be there to do some other stuff. Cause I'm leaving here actually on Tuesday, and I'm going to be in LA through Saturday or Sunday. And so, there's going to be the virtual stuff each day, but then I want to have somebody to hang out with in the afternoon and go to dinner and maybe thrift or whatever. So I'm trying to get that list of people together, and it's harder than I thought it was going to be. So if you're going to be in LA, hit me up.
You should definitely hit up Tiffany and Hugo and see if you can meet that sweet little tiny baby.
They are going to be at the in studio event. I talked to Nanette Zupan, Matt King. So just a couple of people like that. But we need more. I want more people. More the merrier.
Well, I bet Sandra would probably meet up with you.
Sandra's going to go. I'm pretty sure she's going to be in LA. I don't know if Momonti is or not. She might be at the in studio. When eBay did a eBay upfront, I think it was.
Yes.
They did it. This is before they did it in 2019, and they did it in LA. And I went to that, and so in my mind, I'm visualizing all those people that I saw there. Will I'll see again, but let's face it, I don't remember who they were. I remember meeting Sandra there. I do remember that. But anyway, so that's going to be fun. That's what I'm going to be doing for next week for Open. And
well, let's talk about what Liz is going to be doing for Open. I mean, we have a lot of people.
I don't know if Liz can talk.
I don't know. Yeah, quit dropping stuff that you don't even know if you can say.
She's been talking about it.
Okay,
it's been all over social media. We've got there's the Posh Kings, and there's Ken, and there's Sarah Stiles, and there's Liz. And there's a whole bunch of people that have went out to eBay corporate.
It's announced. Okay.
Last week. It's announced.
All right, just making sure.
eBay corporate that was announced, and they did a whole bunch of filming and interviews and things like that for eBay Open. I've been paying attention to when I can talk about Liz's thing
whatever.
and not.
Whatever.
You don't have a great track record with me.
True.
Sometimes you spill the beans too much.
No, sir. I knew that this one was announced. So, our very own Liz O'Kane is going to be interviewing some people, and it's pretty cool. No, Sarah is not coming to the remix that I'm aware of. She hasn't bought a ticket. I don't know Sarah personally. I know neither does Teresa or Katy, so she may not even be aware of the remix. But she's part of the eBay Open.
They brought a bunch of sellers in and did a bunch of stuff with
lots of seller-led events, lots of eBay conversations with sellers. Liz says so. I'm eBay Open this year looks like they did a whole lot of interviews with sellers, which is my favorite part of eBay Open always.
Yep.
Are the seller-led sessions and the seller interviews, because I learn so much more from other sellers than I do from the corporate speak. Don't get me wrong. We need to have the corporate speak. It is eBay's event. It is their platform. But I learned so much more from other sellers, just like the remix, which is why we have the remix is led by sellers, for sellers, with sellers. I think we all learn the most from each other. So it's exciting.
Yep. Yeah, Tiffany, we'd love it if you could come to the to our watch party. Be fun.
Yeah, I don't know how old your kids are, but you're welcome to bring them if you want. I mean, it's a morning event. It's like 11 to 2. You can bring the kids with you. Our house is kid proof.
I mean,
It's fine.
once it hits 3 o'clock though, we get crazy.
They can hang
Just kidding.
they can hang out in the backyard, or we can plop them in front of a TV. Honestly, whatever. It's okay.
Yeah.
As long as they're not toddlers, we're cool.
I like toddlers.
Well, I like toddlers too, but our dogs
That's
don't.
true. That's true.
Our dogs are too little for toddlers because toddlers don't know how to be gentle yet. So
yeah, that's true.
that's all I mean by that.
Anyway, I'm really excited. I think we're down to like 27 days to the remix. It's coming, you guys. It's coming fast. And I feel like new stuff keeps getting added, and I don't know. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I mean, it's kind of like crunch time now.
How did our Q4 get so crammed with all this stuff?
So much.
I know it's like between open, like I leave on Tuesday to go to open, and then I come back and I'm back for a couple of days, and I'm leaving to do a little pre-Vegas stuff and a little working vacation, and then back for remix. And it's like, before I know it, it's like October 20th. Like, that's my next free day is October 20th. It's like, how is that possible?
And then we're going to be in Colorado then. So we're not even.
I don't even know when we're going to Colorado.
We're going
sometime in
We're
October.
going the 18th to the 24th, or the 19th to the 24th. I don't know. I just talked to Liz about it yesterday. I haven't booked our hotel yet.
I'm missing ThriftCon then. That's
So
all right.
we're going to fly in. Liz is picking us up at the airport. We're going to be hanging out with Liz and invading her space for a while. So we're going to hang out in Denver for a couple of nights and do all the sourcing and all the thrifting all around the Denver area. And then we're going to Colorado Springs, which is where she lives. And we're going to hang out and do all the things in that area, which I'm kind of excited about. Mm-hmm. Liz is going to regret having us stay at her house.
Never. All right.
So fun.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and we might as well wrap things up. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us on yet another Wednesday BOSS Reseller Remix preview show. Next week
we'll be in the middle of eBay Open.
Oh, will it?
It's true, but we still have Will.
What time is eBay Open?
Yeah, so you're right. We have Will. eBay Open is from 9 to 1, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, so we'll be right in the middle of eBay Open.
That's
We're gonna have Will Chappelle. It's when he can do it. Sorry, the schedule.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
His availability, not ours.
Yeah, so if you guys want to,
and they've already started advertising it through their social media that we're going to be doing. He's going to be doing. He doesn't do YouTubes. He doesn't do social media, so it's kind of a big.
So if you want to play hooky from eBay Open for an hour, come hang out with us on Wednesday. We'll be with Will from Worth Point. It should be fun. But yeah.
I'm excited. And yeah, Danica, come to Colorado, hang out with us. We're going to have a good time. So I got to look into booking a hotel right when we get off this call, and everybody hop on over to Whatnot and let's go raid Diane's show. And then also we're going to have Greg, DuPage Picker. Yeah. He goes on live in about 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah. Dial us on DILASSONDE. Over on Whatnot.
Let's get over there and try to show them support.
All right. Bye, guys.
Peace out.